Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, November 22, 2022. The Ministry of Finance and the Public Service has reached an agreement with 14 union bodies to facilitate government's restructuring of the public sector compensation system. The 14 groups, which comprise most of the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, represent approximately 60,000 of the roughly 110,000 workforce. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark says the development is significant given the 4 years of work that has gone into designing the new compensation system and the extensive period of consultation with unions. He commends the unions for the level of commitment demonstrated throughout the process and encourages other unions still reviewing the government's proposal to complete that in short order as time is of the essence. Minister Clark says the government is committed to implementing a public sector compensation that is fair, transparent, and sustainable. The new compensation system will be implemented over 3 years, starting April 1, 2023, and will cost approximately $120 billion over the period. The Income Tax Amendment Act 2022, which sets out to ensure conformity with international obligations, was approved at the last sitting of the Senate. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, who piloted the bill, says it is a companion to the recently passed Special Economic Zone Amendment Act.
Both pieces of the legislation work together to ensure conformity with international standards of tax transparency, as well as improving efficiency in administration of the regime.
According to Senator Johnson-Smith, with the drive to increase economic production, incentives provided within the special economic zones are designed to facilitate their contribution to nation building.
One of the primary incentives provided for in the Income Tax Act is the Employment Tax Credit, which provides business owners the ability to claim credit against income tax payable for their contributions to their employees' statutory deductions. But the SEZA legislation had provisions which prohibited entities in economic zones from claiming the benefit. That was addressed, and now the amendment to the Income Tax Act will provide further clarity by widening the scope of the ETC to include businesses under the SEZA. So they work in a cycle, ensuring that they support each other.
Members of the public and special interest groups are being encouraged to send in their written submissions on the Bail Act by November 30. The bill is now before a joint select committee of both houses of Parliament for review. The process will provide the opportunity for committee members to probe the bill deeply, ask questions, and make suggestions for improvements. Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs Marlene Malahoo Fort says submissions can be addressed to the Clerk to the Houses, Gordon House, 81 Duke Street, Kingston, or emailed to clark@japarliament.gov.jm. She was speaking at a recent JIS think tank and explained that rewriting the Bail Act had resulted in the preservation of the established common law rules as well as some modifications.
Even where we have preserved existing provisions, it's going to be very important that you read fully and carefully the new law. Fully and carefully. Why do I say that? Because when you come to interpreting the law, or you go before the court asking the court to interpret the law, the court will look at what is written. And believe me, a single word can make a difference.
The Legal Affairs Minister insists that persons should not take for granted that they are familiar with the provisions of bail at common law or the Jamaican jurisdiction. To review the bill, interested persons can visit japarliament.gov.jm and search under the Publications heading. The call for a national consensus on the protection of the environment has been sounded. It comes from Minister with Responsibility for Information, Robert Morgan. He was delivering the keynote address at the Kingston Harbour Ecosystem Adaptation Measures KEEM conference on Friday.
What it means is that you need a wide cross-section of allies in the environmental fight. You need people in civil society. You need students. You need members of the opposition. You need members of the government.
Minister Morgan lauded the KEEM project, which is building the resilience of low-lying areas in the city of Kingston against climate risks through mangrove restoration and conservation. The overseas-funded project is being executed by Mona Geoinformatics Limited in partnership with the Center for Marine Sciences, the Grace Kennedy Foundation, and Newer Worlds Limited. Among the measures highlighted by Minister Morgan that the government has done to protect the environment are the Port Royal Street Coastal Revetment Project, the National Tree Planting Initiative, and the declaration of over 78,000 hectares of the cockpit country as protected area. And finally, 3 outstanding public sector workers have been chosen Civil Servants of the Year for 2022-2023. Simone Turton's award for the Technical Support category was received on her behalf. She works at the University Hospital of the West Indies. The Middle Management category was won by Oliver Morris of the Administrator General's Department. Lennox Wallace of the Ministry of Health and Wellness walked away with prizes for the management category. The winner of the inaugural People's Choice Award is Sophia Moulton, Director of Ceremonial Operations and Staff Administration in the Office of the Prime Minister. The award ceremony was held at the Terra Nova Hotel in Kingston on Friday. Each awardee received $150,000 for a joint community project from First Heritage Cooperative Credit Union Limited. State Minister in the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, Marcia Smith, commended them for their exemplary service to the public sector.
From the managerial to the technical level, you are the wheel that keeps the daily operations of this country turning, and for that Jamaica owes you a great debt. Because it is the public service that has weathered the country through various social and economic storms.
In his response, Mr. Wallace gave a commitment on behalf of the recipients to continue giving sterling service to the sector.
We serve as a testimony to those who are coming behind us. We have paved the way somewhat, and we ask our colleagues in the different agencies and the different ministries. Just like I always say, management and work is like a relay. When you get the button, you got to run as fast and as hard to complete the task.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.